Hello, my name is Wayne, and I'm not going to go through the formalities. I'm just going to cut to the chase. The whole idea here is to give you a good idea of the Freecad interface, get you started in it, and hopefully get you creating things as quickly as possible. So this is your interface. When you open Freecad, this is exactly what you're going to see. So what you're going to want to do is just go ahead and on the left hand side you can click this or the part design down here where it says start a new project, but let's click this on the left because you'll notice that there's a tab. The tab that comes up, it just is unnamed. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by naming it, and you do that by saving the project. So we'll save and just type in a name, tutorial 1, and now you'll notice that right here instead of unnamed it says tutorial 1, and here tutorial 1. This is the name of our project. Anything that goes below this belongs to this project. The next thing you're going to want to do is, now I have this menu that appears here. If you've just installed the program, you probably don't have this menu. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to go over to View, drop down to Workbench, and then you'll see the whole menu here. When you click on is Part Design, because that's what we're going to be working in, and now your menu will appear here, and you can see this and move from different workbenches, workbench to workbench, and take a look at things. But we're just going to be working with the part design for a little while to get you to understand the software and how to use it. These workbenches, these little areas here, will show up differently depending on the resolution of your screen. You can move these around just by dragging them by this little dotted area. I'm going to move a couple of them just because I think it's easier to work with this way. And you can do anything you want. All right, let's get to going here. The first thing we're going to want to do is create a sketch. Every good drawing starts with a sketch, and so we're going to start with that. So you, under tasks here, you notice I just clicked this sketch. There's also the same sketch in this icon here that's up on the upper right hand side. So either way you can begin creating. The next thing you're going to want to do is draw something. So up here on the right hand side you have your arc, your circle, your line, your polyline, and your rectangle. Let's start with a circle. Click on circle. Just anywhere in the middle of the screen, just click, drag out your circle. It doesn't matter how big or how small it is. Just let it go, and then click it again to create the circle. Now once you've created the circle, what you're going to want to do is define how big the circle is. So click on it again. You'll notice it turns green, and your constraints, these are these red icons on the right hand side. On your screen they may be somewhere else, but they're all these red icons. Okay, so the first thing we're going to want to do is create a constraint that makes this circle a specific size, and that is this icon that if you hover over says fix the radius of a circle of an arc. Go ahead and click that. Now you can see that a measurement shows up defining the radius of the circle, and a constraint under our constraints shows up with the icon, and there's a number beside it. If you double click on that constraint, you'll notice that the datum, that is the number that corresponds to the size of our radius, is here. All we have to do to change the radius is change the number. Let's change it to 5. Good. Now we'll zoom in using our mouse button. Oh, and if you're confused as to how I'm moving things around, it's the middle mouse button. It's the same mouse button that you use for a lot of different applications, but in 2D view, or just being able to scroll around the screen or pan around the screen, holding the middle mouse button will move things around. Your scroll wheel will scroll in and out. And now let's see what we can do with this. Okay. Let's go ahead and go over where it says tasks, this tab, and just hit close. And you'll notice we still have our circle here. And then we have on our tasks, we have sketch tools, pad, pocket, revolution. These are the basic methods of extruding our circle. They also exist up on the upper right hand side or up on this toolbar wherever they show up for you. The same thing, pad a selection. The next one would be create a pocket, and then the next one would be revolve a selected sketch. But what we're going to want to do is pad it, and that basically means to extrude it into a three-dimensional form. So go ahead and click on pad a selected sketch. Now you'll notice that it's just a circle filled in. It really doesn't look like anything. Go ahead and up here where our different views are, click the one that says set to axisymmetric view. Wow, look at that. Now we have a circle in 3 dimensions. Now I'm going to go through how to actually manipulate the size of this circle in the dimension that we just created. We've already made the circle by its radius the size that we wanted. Now let's go ahead and change the height. So up on the left-hand side where it says project, and that was right by the tasks tab, go ahead and click on pad. And actually double click it. No, don't do that. This is a method for actually being able to rotate and manipulate the object. But what we want to do is transform. So it says transform. If you right click on it, just click finish editing. You'll do what I just did, so it's a good thing I accidentally did that. And hold on here. Let's go underneath this box where it says view and data in these small tabs in the lower left hand corner. Click on data, and under data it says length. Now this is our new dimension. This is the dimension we haven't defined yet, and you notice it says 10. Let's go ahead and change that to 2. Hit enter, and you'll notice that our object has actually gotten much shorter, which is good because we're going to do some things with this. Let's leave that as is, and what we're going to do is go back to our top view. So these are the different views up here, and each of these views corresponds to the front, the side, the top, the back, the left-hand side, and the bottom. So let's go to the top view because that's what we've been drawing in, and let's see if we can create something to cut out of this. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our sketch, which is up here on the right-hand side. It's in the same area next to the pad. Create a new sketch. Click on that. And you'll notice our drawing surface has reappeared. Let's go ahead and scroll in. Use the middle mouse button to pan over. Get it centered with your scroll wheel. And now we're not manipulating this. From here on out, we're going to create a whole new object. So let's go ahead and create another circle. And you notice we can't see our circle because it's actually at the bottom of our first object. So let's just make it larger than our original circle. Let's click so we can actually see it for a second. Then what we'll do is we'll go back to project. We'll click on pad, and then I want you to hit spacebar. Now you notice it disappears. That's okay. we don't want to actually deal with that three-dimensional object right now because we're working on our sketch pad. So what we're going to do is we want the circle that we originally created the object from. And find that circle, we just go to where it says pad, click on the little arrow left of it, and you'll notice that you get a drop down, and below it says sketch. Click on sketch, and then hit spacebar. And you'll notice our first circle actually appears again. This will give us something to manipulate our other circle with. So, first things first. Grab the dot of our circle. Actually, it looks like we're pretty much in the center of our other circle, but let's go ahead and grab this sketch, grab the next sketch, and what we'll do is we'll go over to create a constraint that is a coincident constraint on the selected item, which means they're going to be in the same place. So go ahead and click that, and of course I get a little select exactly 2 vertexes from the sketch. So it won't let me do that, but how should we do this? Let's select nothing. Just for this tutorial, I don't think this matters as much. If we could see the center dots, we could actually select the centers, but it looks like, in my case, they're right over the top of each other. So let's just grab our outer circle. Let's create a radius constraint. Select nothing, select the outer circle, create a radius constraint, and this new radius we want to be, let's go over to tasks on the task tab, and you'll notice that we have our constraint. You can click on the constraint and type in 2. Perfect. Okay, now we can close this, and on clicking on sketch 1, which actually if you double click, you notice it goes back into the sketch, so we close that. So you can always get back into your original sketch to work into your original sketch anytime you want. You can view other sketches and actually reference off of them to create new sketches just by making them appear using the space bar or making them disappear. In this case, we want sketch 1. We want to pad it, and you'll notice a new pad appears. Let's go back to our old sketch, click on it, and then hit spacebar to make it disappear because we don't need it. Let's go back up and set axisymmetric view. There we go. Now you'll notice we have our smaller diameter tube. So let's go back to our original pad on the project tab over here and just click on the original pad, click spacebar. And now you notice we have it selected. It's green. If we click away from it, it'll disappear. If we go back over to pad, click on pad, it'll turn green again. So the rule of thumb here is select the object you want to work with and then select the object you want to work on it. And in order to do what we're going to do, which I haven't even explained yet, is go up to your workbench again, go to part design, click down, go down to part. So now we're working with the parts, and you'll notice we have some new tools up here. And some of these tools are shaded out. That's because they can't be used. And some of them are available. But right now, the only tool we're looking to use is this one here, which is make a cut of 2 shapes. And to get to that, we have the first circle selected. Then we're going to want to hold Control on your keyboard, click the next selection that you want to work with, and then you'll notice that all of these are appearing, there's something to work with, go ahead and click the one that says make a cut of 2 shapes. There we are. You'll notice now we have a hole in the center of our first circle. It means our second circle has been used as the actual cutout. And as we go further on with these tutorials, I'm going to show you how to use more of the constraints, and I'm going to show you how to create more intense objects. But for now, I thought this is a good beginning. Just get you to know what the basic tools are and get you using them. So tomorrow night, hopefully, I'll be here again making a new tutorial, and you'll get more information day after day, as long as I have the ability to do it. So thanks for watching.